I can't even believe that I have to explain this. Here I am doing just that. Why even Donald Trump supporters should oppose the Insurrection Act that's championed by President Donald Trump. Do I really need to explain this? It goes like this. Okay, all you Trump supporters, all you megas, you're cheerleading your guy right now. Okay, it's red team versus blue team most of the time, and the Trumpies are going to support Donald Trump and the Republicans. And on the blue team, in the last decade, the blue team are going to go support Obama and the Democrats. I mean, okay, both are a given. But here's the thing: if shit gets too bad, or if just even if it's not doesn't get any worse with rioting or what have you, and Trump uses the Insurrection Act of 1807, basically, which means that the United States government will invade the United States. That's what it translates to. Um, Once leftists and Black Lives Matter people are shot, whether they're guilty of looting or peacefully protesting, and the majority of them are peaceful protesters, by the way, even if the shit subside and everything calms down before November, you need to consider this. What if, what if Joe Biden wins in 2020 in November and becomes president? Or Elizabeth Warren runs in 2024 if Trump is reelected in 2020 and she wins and becomes president in 2024, January 2025. What if either of those scenarios happen? A Biden presidency starting in January 2021 or an Elizabeth Warren presidency starting in January 2025. And the Tea Party or some other movement decides to bring about their own version of the current resistance against Donald Trump by the liberals. What if the right brings back the Tea Party and do their dastardly deed again? Y'all would be very, very pissed if a President Joe Biden or a President Elizabeth Warren imposes the Insurrection Act against her opposition. You'll be upset if that happens. And before I hear it, well, the Tea Party was peaceful. The Tea Party were peaceful. What have you? Bullpucky. No, yeah, most Tea Party people did commit violence. I give you that. Just as most people from Black Lives Matter are not violent. And yeah, I'm going to say it. Nobody ever died because of Antifa. Um, you will be upset if the U.S. government started grabbing anybody who's uh, who's with the right wing's version of the resistance in the next Democratic Party administration in the White House. And the scenario you need to be careful about what you want or wish for. And for the record, just as I oppose the Insurrection Act being used against leftists right now, if an Elizabeth Warren presidency or a Joe Biden presidency were to manifest itself, or even if Bernie Sanders was to somehow become president, if he ran again in 2024 and got sworn in January 2025, and he were to use the Insurrection Act, on principle, I would be opposed because I am a civil libertarian and I do not believe that crushing dissent is healthy for our democracy. I mean, you're just opening up a can of worms. That right there. And as I said, before anybody starts saying, "Well, the Tea Party was peaceful," woo woo. As I said, probably no, most were, but I can guarantee you that when the Department of Homeland Security, when they correctly said that domestic right wing terrorists aligned with white nationalist groups were a bigger threat than Islamic radicalism from across the ocean, um, that movement, the right wing faction, the white nationalist faction of the far right, today are currently a bigger threat than Black Lives Matter or Antifa or people on the left generally. So the thing is, this is a slippery slope, and and I'm on principle because I will even defend political ideologies that I despise out of principle. There is a saying, and I kind of just in my long-winded last 5 or 6 minutes said it. Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. And I cannot believe that there are people out there. Oh, actually, I can believe there are people out there because people are morons. People are morons from all over the place, and these are the people, the mega crowd. They don't want the government to give people health care because it violates rights. But they want to go and have the U.S. government crack down on troublemakers. If the Insurrection Act were to take place, uh, you remember President Woodrow Wilson when he imposed the Espionage Act of 1917, I believe, and protesters, critics against the Great War in Europe, were put in prison. Oh, big among them, or most notorious among them, was Eugene Debs. People, labor unions, radical pacifists, all put in prison for opposing the war. Don't want to go to that. Or the Palmer raids of 1920. Are you familiar with the Palmer raids when Attorney General A. Mitchell Palmer um, had his home blown up, and they launched the Palmer raids, and pretty much blanket indictment went after the entire left back in the U.S. back then, and which was stupid because not every leftist think alike, just as not everybody on the right thinks alike. But there is a clamoring, a mindset to go after a certain ideology, and it's linked with this second civil war that people talks about hypothetically. And I'm a pacifist, and believe me, when the Insurrection Act takes place, this channel could cease to exist. I could be arrested. I oppose fascism. Where do you draw the line? It's not even an organization. Even if there's a threat that people claim it is. And I'm not with Antifa, by the way. Some disagreements with Antifa. But what do you define as an anti-fascist? That could theoretically be anybody, most people in the United States. Where do you draw the line? So you're going to go and have the U.S. government arrest these anorexic little kids dressed up as ninjas with the black pants and the black shirt and the black ski mask with the little baseball bat or the little bike chain. You know, the ones who are vegan and that are basically 9-pound weaklings that couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper bag. Yeah, I mean they're you know they're broadly speaking, on my side of the fence, but I make fun of everybody when I can, and even I make fun of even fellow leftists. But okay, you're gonna go after them, then you're gonna go after what somebody who donated money to the Bernie Sanders campaign of 2016 and 2020. What are you drawing a line? Somebody that has somebody's on record saying they support Medicare for all. I mean, for people that claim to be for small government to be against that tyrannical federal government are wanting that tyrannical federal government to crack the skulls of all leftists. And that's really what it comes down to. People who clamor for the Insurrection Act wants to basically do what they did in Chile in 1973. Get rid of the left. They're called helicopter rides. Look up helicopter rides. That's basically what it comes down to. And I'm on record. If if the Insurrection Act takes place, you might as well come after me. Because I'm anti-fascist myself. I don't belong to the movement, but I don't hate anybody based on race or ethnicity. My gosh. But if this were to happen, somewhere down the line, some kind of karma would take place that will stop this shit. But if it happens, it's going to backfire. And somehow, if there's any MAGAs listening, I have an uneasy feeling that you're just going to dismiss what I said because politically who I am. But that just makes me, on a political level, better than y'all because I am a free speech absolutist. Even for ideologies that I despise on principle, I'm for free speech. If there's one thing I have a problem with the First Amendment about, it's not the free speech aspect, it's not free enough. I'm a free speech radical. Yeah, I do not think that people ought to be put in prison like some people in Congress wanting to do for engaging in the boycott, disinvestment, sanctions campaign against Israel. I also do not think that somebody should be fired from a job or go into sensitivity training because they have some theological uneasiness when it comes to Islam and be critical. I don't care which way the fence is. I don't care what the circumstances is. People are people, and they're entitled to their right of freedom of speech. And for my leftists out there, they're kind of like, freedom of speech? No way. No free speech for fascists. I understand that. I understand that mentality. But now here's to my message to my fellow lefties who are kind of critical of free speech. Keep on going on that route. And you also will get you'll be asking for and getting what you wish for and regretting it. Because let me tell you, all my fellow leftists, they're after us. We need, and I'm talking to my leftists, we need to be on principle for freedom of speech, for First Amendment rights. Yeah, it ain't pretty sometimes. Sometimes free speech isn't pretty, but the alternative is uglier. And believe me, when censorship is on the rise, the left suffers for it. We'll suffer public relations wise if we keep clamoring for censorship, and somehow, some way, a right-wing movement will come along next time around, uglier than the Trump presidency, and they will go and silence us. I'm Bernie, bro. I'm blowing off steam now because just how stupid our society is sometimes. I'm Bernie, bro. If you like what you heard here today for the past almost 16 minutes, press like, subscribe, tell everybody about this channel, share this information. And if I could change anybody's mind from either side of the political equation, I've done my part. Like, subscribe, share, tell everybody about this channel. Good day.